Kelly Callan here, Associate Editor at Ultimate Motorcycling. I want to share some lane splitting tips I've picked up on my daily commute in the past 8 years. The best place to split is the channel between the number 1 and number 2 lanes. There's less movement between the 2 lanes. You don't have on and off ramp traffic merging in and out. Mostly you don't have to deal with semis or anybody towing on your right side. So it's the least hectic place to be. I always keep both levers, clutch and front brake, always keep those covered while I'm splitting. If traffic is particularly busy or aggressive, I will also keep my rear brake lever covered. The timing between vehicles is the trickiest part. You don't want the cars to be exactly lined up because of their mirrors, so slightly staggered is best. And because of that, you're making constant adjustments so that you can flow in and out. Try and ride as smooth of a pace and straight of a line down the channel as you can. In other words, don't weave. If you do that, it has you popping into people's rearview mirrors. They'll suddenly see you. It can scare the crap out of them. Then they overcorrect, and that scares the crap out of you. So just try and keep a straight line. Stay off the bots, dots, and the paint as much as possible. The paint can be really slippery when you brake. And of course the bots, dots unsettle the bike. Now if there's an empty space like this to the right, I'm always really careful so that the traffic on the left, that somebody doesn't just pop into that lane. Now the other nice thing about splitting between the number 1 and number 2 lane is that's where most of the motorcyclists are. If you can tuck in behind one that's going a pace that works for you, you can take advantage of the channel that they've created. Cars are already aware of them. I've found that most drivers are pretty courteous, and if they see you, they'll move over and give some space. As that guy did. Right, and then the motorcyclist gives them a wave. I always like to, if it's safe, of course, let drivers know we appreciate that they're keeping an eye out. Now, if somebody's moving faster than you want to go, don't chase them. It's not worth it. One place you really don't want to be is next to a semi or anybody towing. Any long vehicle, if they wander slightly in their lane, it's a much bigger deal than a car because they're long and you're going to be stuck there and you can get pinched. So it's better to just wait until you have a really clear, quick opportunity to get by. Now, if they're going slow enough and there's still some friction, some speed, you can get by, then that makes sense. Pay attention to cars coming over. Again, during transitions from one freeway to another, you never know who's going to move in. Make a quick move. Sometimes I'm going on a freeway that has an HOV lane. Today's one of those days. As you can see, the carpool lane is not going any faster than the regular lane. But the advantage that it has is it's wider, so you have a bigger channel to traverse. Disadvantage, as you can see, there's a continuous line of paint, which I mostly don't want to be on. but this is still a better route than, let's say in this case, between the lanes to my right. Now, of course, the double striped line does not mean that people won't come over, even though they're not supposed to. So obviously you're just as vigilant when you're splitting over here. Now also here we have the dash line, which means somebody could come over. This person has their blinker on. Do they want in? Looks like they do. I'm happy to let the guy go. Because one, I'm going to make up and pass the time. Well, okay, he's turned his blinker off. He's changed his mind. Okay. Okay, always keep your eyes on your mirrors. Motorcyclist coming up behind me, going faster than me, so I'm going to move over and give him room and fall into the wake that he creates. Although he is going faster than I really want to go through here, so I will let him go. And that guy is giving way extra space. Not necessary, but well, there's somebody who overcorrected a bit. So that's the thing, you don't want to startle drivers by weaving. I wasn't weaving there, but I startled him anyway. Because when they make those big moves, that unsettles everybody else. As I've noted before, I find most drivers are really pretty courteous when they notice you. Many of them will give extra space. Okay, well that truck is overcorrecting and kind of riding too close to the wall, so I want to get by him quickly. Okay, rider behind me. Let him go. This freeway has a lot of bikers on it. Whenever I come this way, sometimes there's a whole line of them splitting through this carpool lane, which is actually quite nice when you can join in on that train of bikes. Well, so there you have it. Those are my some of my lane splitting tips. I realize lane splitting is not for everyone, and to the uninitiated it probably looks a little hairball. But if you practice a good technique, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get with it. When I first started commuting to work, I didn't lane split because it wasn't about saving time. It was about saving money. I think the price of gas was edging up to like $5 a gallon in the summer of 2008, and that's when commuting on a bike started looking appealing. The sun is not appealing. Certain times of the year when it's setting like that, it's really not good. Right along the thick line. So yeah, when I first started commuting to work, I didn't lane split. And yes, I was a bit nervous. There's a lot of inattentive, crazy drivers on the road. But I quickly figured out that I felt safer riding between the lines of cars instead of in it. It's too easy to get rear-ended in stop-and-go traffic, and the channel between the two lanes is open-ended and it flows. So I hope you found the tips helpful. If you have any feedback or any tips of your own to share, comment below. Thanks for coming along for the ride. See you next time.